Yes, yes, of course. First you marry, then a child comes. Oh, maybe two. Boy, girl. Oh, your life takes root. You're happy. God has provided an overcoat. Yes? Yes?
Yes, yes.
My friend, you return home one day and your family is no longer there. They've been taken out and murdered in the name of... What? Innocence? Your life is shattered. Too much even for a Jew. And you talk of God providing overcoats.
Chaim, I'm also
How in the name of any kind of justice can you continue to believe in this cruel God of yours?
Of course I believe. You, Chaim, can only imagine a believer having faith in the middle of a beautiful forest with oranges. You can't imagine that God also exists in desert and with desolation. What do you want?
That I should believe in the greatness of God because only He, well, not a human being, could bring such destruction? You see miracles in catastrophes.
I see them everywhere, every minute. How else do you think that we survived? What else is there for people like us?
Rage. There is rage. Earlier you said God hasn't become an orphan. We have. You were saved. You say it was a miracle. What about Fisher? Where was her miracle? Where was my wife's miracle? My children? The millions who died, where was their miracle? Well, you see why I find it difficult to believe out there.
Auschwitz was not created by God. Man did it. The question isn't how I can believe in God. How can you believe in man?
Oh, suddenly, man and God are on the same level. Oh, if I couldn't believe in man, I'd have to kill myself. And you don't have to believe in all mankind, and I certainly do not forgive the murderers, but this is not the issue.
What is the issue?
What is? The terror in the eyes of the children. A pregnant woman's belly ripped open by a bayonet. My 12-year-old cousin Mirella, whose mother shot before our very eyes. This is the issue. This is the
All Jews mourn what happened, but I became more of a believer. If my faith was on the same level as before, it would be an insult to the martyrs.
All right. All right. Let me tell you a story. In Auschwitz, there was a very great Rebbe who said there is a possibility that God is a liar. His followers were shocked, so the Rebbe explained. When God looks down from heaven and he sees what his free will has led to, he says, I'm not responsible. And this, the Rebbe concluded, is a lie. At Sinai, God made a covenant with the Jewish people. At Auschwitz, he broke it.
Oh, it's so easy for you to criticize. The Germans are entirely guilty, but we Jews, we are not entirely innocent. The Jews wanted to become like other nations, and so we broke our covenant with the God of Israel, who came down and prophesied to Ezekiel that he will not allow it to happen. And he swore by his life, that he will come with a strong hand and an outstretched arm and with wrath.
Since when is punishment for assimilation death by gas?
God's ways are very hard to understand. There is an explanation for everything.
Well, then you explain all the religious Jews who were killed. Why was your family wiped out? They didn't abandon God.
I don't understand why. All I know is that I am guilty. All Jews are bound to one another. I am guilty for not influencing other Jews, for not changing them.
Not changing me?
I'm not changing you.
And you have the chutzpah to apologize to me?
What do you mean?
And you said you were sorry how you acted in Bialystok?
I meant it.
I think you meant you're sorry you walked out on me, that you didn't stay around to change me. You're not sorry for what you said.
Well, I said, I don't know. I don't remember what I said. All I know is that I am sorry for the way I treated you.
You still see me as someone who betrayed you. You and God.
No, we betrayed each other, and God punished us.
My leaving yeshiva did not cause the Nazis, Hirsch. I have no responsibility for what happened to your family. None, I'm sorry.
We are all responsible.
There were no sins, Hirsch, that could ever justify God sending Hitler. God abandoned us. No. He humiliated us. It was humiliation. 6 million of his chosen people. 1 million children. The children did not abandon God, Hirsch. How can we ever forgive him for not saving the children?
If I knew God, I'd be God.
knew God, I would put him on trial. In truth, this is a sad story. I felt so unclean that night from reading Hamlet. But it moved me to tears. The first time I felt someone talk about life the way I felt. It was that powerful. It was.
You could have learned more about life in the yeshiva.
Well, this is different. In yeshiva, I learned what my obligations were, what my rewards would be.
You
if I
make it
kept the law.
sound so narrow. You don't mention how it also taught you to see beyond pettiness.
But in books, I saw there was a whole other world of life.
Right.
I didn't have to follow rules. I could be a complete human being. This made me cry too.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's lots of crying when you're a writer, artist. You have so many tears for all these writers at a time when all that's left of our Bialystok synagogue is one burnt wall. There are plenty of tragedies, Chaim, without Shakespeare.
You don't want to accept who I am. You'll rather paint me like a fool.
Chaim, you think that because you ran away from the yeshiva that you saved yourself, huh? You remember what we used to say? Once you've studied Musar, you can never enjoy life again. You'll always be wounded, a cripple, all your life. Because you traded our serenity of soul for what? Lusts that you will never satisfy.
No, for years I thought this too. I was sure that art was lustful. It was ego. It was the dark side, the sitro acro. It tore me apart. Then I stopped feeling guilty. I stopped punishing myself. I realized I was hating who I was. I'm denying myself. And why? Why? Because yeshiva taught, this is what God wanted.
And why? Do you know why?
Well, of course I know why. Because God creates, an artist creates, to compete with God, chutzpah. No, this is a jealous God. She's not my God. For me, writing is the holiest act. If there was a blessing to say over writing a poem, I'd say it.
God is not worried about competition from you, or even from
Rosenberg.
Solomon. Right. If you could only see, Chaim, that your life is a work of art. A great work of art, without a foolish audience or your name on the cover. And what do writers write about, huh? Man's weakness. And then they pity him for it. Oh, poor man. He can't help it. Then, in the same breath, they make his flaws exciting, and so they justify them. You should not be making men proud of what they are. You should be showing men what they could be.
So easy for you. You have convinced yourself that flaws grow on a person, like hair. You don't like them, you cut them off like a beard. You don't like the way a person is, you tell him to go and change. You don't like the way the world is, you tell it to go away. Why don't you accept things for what they are?
Amar Rabbi Eliezer.
Forget the Talmud. Paid a heavy price for your Talmud. You treated me like poison. You remember the goodbye you gave me when I left the yeshiva?
Oh, Chaim. You were on the wrong path. And I knew it.
Yes, this is when I needed a friend. Not another angry voice.
You were the one that was angry.
No, I became angry when you spoke to my family.
I tried to stop you. I did it for your own good.
My own good? You helped drive me from my family, and you have the chutzpah to tell me it's for my own good.
Please.
You could not accept who I was, a different person with different needs, a different way. I was honoring God, but in my own way.
Let it pass. I'm sorry for the pain.
Yes, I'm sure that you are sorry for the pain, but you would do it again.
You're getting angry for nothing.
No, you would do it again, wouldn't you?
We haven't seen each other
You
for so
are
long.
so arrogant. There's no regret. There's no sense of, might have made a mistake, just a human being like the rest of us. You put on your black coat and hat, and you're armed, and you're ready to judge everybody as if God speaks directly to you. You betrayed our friendship. Then you drove me from my family, and all you can say is, let it pass. Apologize, goddamn you!
Apologize for what? You left Judaism, and that's the yeshiva's fault. You never made peace with your family. That's my fault. 6 million Jews died. That's God's fault. But you, the great artist, you're never at fault.